either charge your phone, turn on lights, or have a heater. And I didn't hear nothing from them. I mean, they knew the issues that was going on. The Bible that my sister got me, which meant a lot to me, she gave it to me when I first got out of prison. It was beautiful. That I kept beside my bed. It's gone.
Tell people who you are and how you ended up even knowing of Debbie in the first place.
Yeah, you guys all know who we are, obviously, Minivan Musician, and this is our series that we stumbled into.
Unfortunately,
we did not want to do this.
Investigative reporting, I guess.
But it would be morally wrong to ignore this and turn the other cheek and let it continue to go on and hurt more people. So, with that, yeah, like he said, just, introduce yourself and like how you came to Deanna's Hope Village and the whole nine and what happened, your experience there.
My name's Alisha. I'm 44. I'm a widowed mother of 5. I was recently incarcerated and I got out and I was staying with my mother. On New Year's Eve, I became homeless and it was really cold. And I'd seen Sisters in Christ scrolling through Facebook and stuff like that and seen some of their videos and stuff like that. And then a friend of mine tagged me in a post where she said she had some campers coming open for transitional housing. And it was in my price range. So I messaged her and, explained to her my situation and everything. And she said that they did have one available for me. And, it was going to be $500 a month that I stayed in the camper for free. I just had to pay the campground, the $500 for the lot. And it would cover water, power, and Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely a good, good for me, to get started. The camper's in great condition and all this. So me and my friend drove to Grandview and looked at it. And it was this cute, humble little thing. I was like, this is perfect for me. It's not too big. It's not too small. And it felt great just to know that for the first time, and since my husband died, that I had a place to call home that was my own. I wasn't sleeping on some nice couch or in my car or anything like that. And things were going good. And it just brought me a good sense of hope that maybe this time my thriving and working hard and pushing to get back on my feet was going to be successful. She laid down the rules, no drinking, no drugs and whatnot. She introduced me to some of the people around and everything. And she told me, because I told her I didn't have the $500 yet, I'd have to wait till I got my check for my 2 jobs at the end of the week. And she said, well, you're not going to sleep in your car no more. You can go ahead and stay in the camper. I was like, great, awesome. And she had a heater in there and they brought me some groceries. And, it was awesome how everything started out, the first couple of days, they checked in on me and everything. But the breaker kept flipping. And come to find out, they had me hooked on 120 volts. So it was either charge your phone, turn on lights, or have a heater. Oh. Mind you, this is the beginning of January, okay? So, I had no hot water or anything. So I got a propane tank and got all that situated, got a hose for the bathroom, all that good fun stuff. And the first couple of days was good. I mean, I worked 2 jobs, so I was gone most of the time, But it got to the point where I come home and the breaker was kicked. It was freezing cold, and I couldn't use the water. I couldn't shower because the pipes were froze and stuff like that. Then we got that snow and the pipe busted. But they kept telling me they were going to move me to a new lot, where I could get hooked up to the correct voltage and everything. Now, mind you, I gave them their $500. And that's supposed to run from January 5th to February the 5th. Mm-hmm. Well, it got to the point where I was having to go here and go there to wash clothes, take showers, and cook and stuff like that. I couldn't turn anything on without it popping the breaker. So I went and I had a FEMA room. I just wasn't using it. And so I ended up going and getting a FEMA room and staying there because, they're all online, giving this away and giving that away, but not tending to the people they've already placed in there, And I didn't hear nothing from them. And I was there. I mean, they knew the issues that was going on. So I wasn't going to explain them to them. I am on probation and parole. So I called her to get the address so that I could give it to my probation officer because I was going to have to be transferred to another county. And so I got that took care of. And she told me I'd have to get a P.O. box, which is fine. But I ended up getting arrested on the 31st, I think it was. Well, the end of January anyway. And I got locked up for 25 days. So immediately my mother and my sister went to Deanna to get my belongings out of the camper because they didn't know what was going to happen with me since I was on parole. And she wouldn't give me my stuff. She's like, y'all are the ones that kicked her out. I'm not going to give it to you. Which is understandable, So when my sister came to see me that very Friday, mind you, it's not 7 days after I got locked up, I gave her written permission to get my belongings, and an officer signed it as a witness. Yeah. My sister took that to her, and she was like, oh, well, I'm not going in there because there's fentanyl in there and this and that and this and that. I've never touched fentanyl. Where did you get that from? And then she lied and told me that I changed the locks on the camper and that I did all this stuff to the inside and everything. But I made repairs because once I got in there and got to looking around, if you pushed on the wall, there was so much water damage, a hole would go through it. I mean, it was freezing cold in there. I had to go buy 2 propane heaters just to keep warm, and propane is not cheap.
No.
You know,
And she told you at the beginning that it was going to have power and heat.
yes, yeah,
That's what you were paying for.
That's what she was paying for.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's cool. It's a roof, but it's like you can't really live when it's that cold.
Oh,
And
yeah,
what-
and I mean, no, don't mind. I don't want to sound ungrateful. I was so grateful to have a roof on my head because I was freezing in my car and stuff like that, you know. And it was things that were it could be fixed, but you know, I didn't feel that I was in a position to be messing with that place. You know, I don't know nothing about campers, and if I mess with
Right.
propane or something like that, I'm gonna blow the whole campground up. That's just me. But
Yeah, I would hear that too.
and so, I mean, it just got where it was, and it's all the way in Rutherfordton, you know, in Kaiser. So it was a 30-minute drive to either one of my jobs. So, you know, I'm having to go find a place to take showers, wash clothes, get ready for work and stuff like that. So I was like, you know, I'm just going to get a room, I'm going to get that FEMA room and be done with it. So I stayed there for 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks so I only stayed 4 or 5, maybe 6 nights in that camper. That's all.
Mhm.
And like I said, you know, they didn't come by and check on me, didn't come by and try to fix anything or nothing. So, back to I get sidetracked. I'm sorry sometimes. So my sister did give her the paper, and like I said, she's like, oh yeah, she changed the locks. She don't even have a key. This and that, and the camper was a wreck. Well, I mean, it wasn't a wreck, but you know, I mean, I hadn't unpacked because it was too cold.
Right.
It was too cold. It was too cold to unpack, you know. And not to mention, like I said, there was a lot of water damage. So where you hang up your clothes, you couldn't hang them up because you put a hanger on it and poosh, the whole thing fell off the ceiling. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I had started doing repairs. Like if you pull out the drawers, the legs on them and everything, there was none of those. There was a big old hole in the floor up underneath the kitchen table, you know. But other than that, I mean, it was a cute little place, you know. I mean, from the inside, you wouldn't think it had all the issues. Like I said, I'm not complaining, you know, because I was working on it very, very slowly. But then, you know, my sister gave her that. She refused again. My sister called and talked to one of the officers in Rutherford County. He went and talked to her. And she eventually told my sister, well, I'll meet you Tuesday. Well, my sister goes to call her to meet her, and she won't answer the phone, and she's blocked my sister on Facebook and everything. So my sister, she actually told my sister, well, I'll just get her stuff myself and put it in our storage building and hold it for her till she gets out. So, I mean, either way, I'm like, okay, well, my stuff is fine because, mind you, this will be the 5th time that I've lost everything I owned. There was stuff of sentimental value in there for my kids. And because, you know, I don't have my kids, my mother's got them now, but they had made me some things and I had them set up all over the place and everything. You know, so I messaged her and, you know, told her I was out and she didn't say anything back. And I was like, well, this is Alisha, by the way. I said, I know y'all probably need to get that camper rented out because I can't afford it anymore. And I had already been told that they've made them move the campers. I actually work with a girl whose boyfriend's parents own that campground. Yeah, she told me a lot of stories. So, you know, she finally messaged me back and she, let me see if it let me pull it up without closing y'all out. Can y'all still see me?
No, but we'll be able to.
We can hear you. Yeah.
You
Okay,
can
all
read
right,
it.
okay. All right. And this is what she had to say, a bunch of lies. Says, your sister never came back to get your stuff, and you got arrested. The trailer was a disaster, and everything was thrown away. We do not hold anyone's belongings. We let you live in our camper for free. All you had to do was pay your lot rent to the campground owner. You were arrested for drugs, and you were on probation. We agreed to let you be a guest of our camper. Then you went back on your old habits, got arrested. You can't expect me to keep anything for you weeks while you're in jail. I still have faith in you. Please allow Jesus in your heart. Where are you staying now?
Wow.
And my sister did try to get my
You gotta
belongings.
throw Jesus in there.
Well, and
That's a pet
clarify.
peeve of
I
mine.
want to clarify right now, just for everybody. What did you get arrested for?
I got arrested for possession.
I mean, when you went back to jail, was that what you got arrested for, or was it a probation violation?
That and probation violation. Yep.
Okay, so it was a drug possession and a probation violation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
So what had happened, but now, mind you, that the drug thing was that very day. That
The
very
day that you got arrested?
Yep.
Okay. So what, did they find you? Someone would like come see you and you had something on you or something like that?
No, I got pulled over because I was staying at the Super 8 hotel and I did not know that the police was watching the hotel. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it wasn't.
but it's not. It was not possession of fentanyl or nothing like that. It's some boxing pills I had got. So
Oh, okay.
And
gotcha.
wasn't it? Didn't you get a violation for not having a proper address or something like that?
well, that and then the fact that my tail light was covered up or whatever, you know, because I had a dark tinted tail light cover. Yeah.
It's gracious.
Because I'm just thinking to myself that, like, with that address thing, I wonder if that affects anybody else's at the camp. If they were to go to their probation officer, they don't have a real address. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I wonder if that's.
Well, I mean,
a
and
problem.
I'm speaking as somebody who's we've got a past, you know.
Yeah,
so, like
definitely.
I was on probation before, and I had I got in trouble and violated for being around another felon who, you know, this was many years ago, who was my boyfriend at the time, who was also a felon, and they put me in jail for that. And I also got a violation for the address thing, where they went to check and do a home check to see if, I was there at the correct address, and I wasn't living there. So I got a violation for that.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, like, all these people that are in a situation like yours and who are going to this campground to live are all obviously having to be around each other or within proximity to one another. So, I mean, technically that would be a violation.
They're all violating their
And
probation
it's
and
like,
parole.
Yeah.
putting all of y'all
That's
at
fine.
risk for, getting a violation.
Now I know that if you had some
That's
kind of like
ridiculous. It's
licensing
terrible.
from the state or county or something like that,
Yeah.
you could do that and have a bunch of people that are,
Right.
but right
But
now
she
it's like
doesn't.
they share an address. It's like one big house with a bunch of criminals in it.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what
That's
people
why-
would, that's how
She don't
people
think
would look
about
at it, is that way.
Yeah, that's technically if you went in front of a judge that didn't like
Oh,
you, that's
yeah.
what it would be.
That's just
Yeah.
that's putting people at risk. That's putting y'all at risk who are going there.
What did